episode 186, an interview with Christine Townsend from PIO Toolkit and Orlo.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
AI is a golden opportunity.
How do we ensure that this technology is regulated?
The long arc of technological history is now in an extraordinary new phase.
The AI6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
In today's long listen, I am absolutely thrilled to bring you a guest that I have known online for about 5 to 6 years, I would say, and that is Christine Townsend. But we got to meet in person for the first time at the 3CMA conference in Las Vegas this week. Christine has a remarkable career, from journalism to policing comms to now working in the United States with communicators on digital comms, social media, and she shares my very deep interest in public interest messaging. She's also a huge Kylie fan. Enjoy. Christine Townsend, what a pleasure to meet you in person, because I hugged you this morning and I was like, have we actually met? But we hadn't.
We haven't, but you know what? It feels like I've known you for years, and just seeing your face was just an absolute treasure. So I'm so glad to actually finally meet you in person as well.
And I mean, come on, let's face it. What better place to meet only in Vegas?
Well, of course.
We were born for Vegas.
And who was here the last time I was here?
Kylie. Sorry, she's a huge Kylie fan, but I'm sure a lot of my listeners are Kylie fans too. But we're here at the 3CMA conference, right? And there's over 800 communications professionals from government, 43 states and Canada. Why are you here?
Well, I'm here because I'm brand ambassador for Orlo. It's a fantastic social media management listening platform with so many fabulous features. And it's because it's for public sector, that's why I do it for them, because you know how passionate I am about public sector and policing comms. So it just speaks to my inner geek, but also that passion I have for public service and using communications for that. And it's great. And I also just always want to be at 3CMA. It's such a fantastic event. There are so many wonderful people here with a lot of stuff to share, skills, knowledge, experience. But why are you here is more the question.
I delivered a workshop this morning on social media powered by AI, and I'll deliver a keynote tomorrow. But your background, you said, you geek, and this is why we connected, because we can geek out together. Tell the listeners your background.
Oh my goodness. I thought this was only 10 minutes. So I started out as a journalist, national newspapers in the UK when I was very young, at 16. I then ended up, it's a very abridged version, I ended up going into police comms. My family are all police officers, and then essentially went into crisis comms. But what I really loved was I was there when social media was first being brought into policing. And so it was this whole new world of digital communications and community engagement that none of us had a clue about. So I set up one of the first Twitter accounts for a police helicopter, built out the website. Then we moved on to a kind of broad and national approach to it. So I did that. And then I ended up moving to the States. I've been here 9 years, and I set up PIO Toolkit, which is basically my response to COVID. I had nothing to do. I missed writing. I missed comms. I missed media. So I thought, there's nothing out there for resources for public communicators in the States or beyond. So I just wrote a little blog, and now it's turned into a huge thing where I've published 2 books on comms and community engagement. Got 6,000 people in our community, and I get to travel around and meet people like you.
Amazing. And that's just it. I think we've got a shared background in terms of journalism into public sector comms, but we've never forgotten what drives us, and it's that public interest messaging. Talk to us a little bit about Orlo, because I just got a demo and it's fascinating.
It's, for me, what it does is they want to be the voice of the community. And essentially it's every aspect of communication that you will have with the community to improve it. And that very much is at the heart of what they do, is wanting to improve community through like the platform. But it's not just the platform. The expertise of everyone in the company is amazing. And pretty much everyone has worked in a public sector comms role. So not only is it a platform to help you manage, archive, social media, the sentiment, the community intelligence, if you like. There's a trust indicator on there as well, which is fantastic. The fact that you get this amazing onboarding and support throughout, you're not just given a platform and left. So because everyone is passionate about public sector comms, we can help you come up with solutions to your comms issues. And quite often it's just about understanding data differently, using data intelligently to change outcomes. And we all know how to do that. And we look at what ROI there is using that data, using those conversations. And, I call it social intelligence, just understanding what people want, need, think, feel. At the end of the day, it's a people business, but it's a way of packaging that together that will positively impact the community.
And I said to the group this morning, you'll have hundreds of questions for me, but I can guarantee you all those questions could be answered if you actually looked at your data. And people are afraid of data and they're afraid of insights. And they're like, well, I'm more of a creative than a numerical person. But the dashboard that you have is fantastic. It's very visual. And the other thing is that it brings in press and media.
Yeah. It's every aspect of the comms journey, the touch points. There's customer management in there as well. So customer service channels. It's not just the press officer or the comms director. It's every touch point throughout an organisation that you can pretty much measure how impactful that's being. And that's what really drew me to it here, is they're using that data well and looking at not just, a press release or not just as a few scheduled posts. It's like, how is it changing things? At the benefit of not just the community, but also the organisation and public money. It's a huge ripple effect, I think.
Yeah, it's strategic integrated comms, which is where they want to be. But it's also AI powered, and AI is a huge theme at 3CMA this year.
Well, yes, and that's why you're here. So maybe you should talk about you for a minute.
No, I've done loads of this in the podcast. They want to hear from other people.
Well, we're excited that you're here with your book, though. So, it's really cool. But yeah, there is a lot of AI behind it that will help people triage a lot of stuff and feel less overwhelmed. I think that's the biggest challenge any communicator I speak to in the States, in Canada, anywhere. It's not the fact that they can't do their job because they're not skilled. It's because of time, resource, constraints. They feel utterly overwhelmed, which is where we go back to the fear things. Like, they don't want to see nasty comments. They don't want to have to deal with the deluge. They want to, I know people will put things out that they know is going to attract a whole load of negative sentiment. So there is that fear. And there's also the fear of burnout. That's very real. So it's really hard when there's only one or two of you to deal with a deluge. And I think this is really, really going to help that. And also what I love, there's a real safeguarding aspect to it. So if there are images that are distressing to the end user, they will be pixelated out or blurred out. And I know from first-hand experience, the stuff I have seen managing police social media has changed me for life, without a doubt. And that's why I'm also really keen on being a mental health advocate for communicators, especially in this digital space. And so that for me really, really stood out, that that's something that, they care about people as well. And I love that. That's really important to me.
I got the impression that Orlo had the capacity to probably replace multiple tools that potentially organizations were using because of your broad capability.
Yeah, that's what we're finding is where you're getting people paying for maybe 4 different types of platforms, be it archiving, sentiment analysis, scheduling, monitoring. It does it all. So if you think you're paying out 4 times the amount of what it would cost for an annual platform, this is actually covering all of it for one. And we can prove every time and time again that actually it's a better use of public money to approach it that way, because it's all fully integrated and it's not on a per seat basis. So I love that as well. It's on a population basis of your community. So it's really, really just flexible and definitely geared toward public sector. And we're not interested in, private sector. There's enough out there. But I think you can see that in the passion of the people that represent it.
Obviously, we're connected on LinkedIn, but I've been watching you literally touring the United States with Orlo and wearing the T-shirt? What are people saying?
There's definitely curiosity because it's only been 6 months. A team of 3 of us have started it here. Been in the UK for 10 years. I love the fact that it's a British company, but I can do the work in the States. So it's just now my home as I am an American citizen now. I think the fact that we're looking to approach many challenges with creative approach, I say, that people aren't necessarily used to, but also backed up by all the experience we've had with community engagement, particularly in the UK, that translates well here. And bringing those new ideas and making people think about things differently is going well. And I think people are excited. We've already got a number of clients across the States that love it. I'm really, really pleased at how quickly that's happened. And we're learning as we go. We can be really dynamic and react, respond. It's fantastic. I think for me, just seeing people get the benefit of what it can give them is important. And, you know, that 10 years of community engagement work that they've done with clients in the UK, I mean, they've got pretty much every single police agency in the UK. That's testament to how good it is. And of course, I can translate. I like to say same problems, different accent. And I know you've probably experienced this as well. So I'm excited about what we can do and how we can help people.
And with the advent, and we're living through the AI age, you know, deep fake is going to become a huge problem. And we had a conversation before we started this official one. There's buckets of innovation that you can plug into this forward in this tool.
Yeah, for sure. I think the AI part of that is going to be phenomenal. So the fact that you can get it to pick out regular kind of posts that you've been putting out or inquiries that are coming in, that it can then tailor a response for you based on the volume. So if you imagine you're getting a police department or a government that's getting the same questions again and again and again. And people do that. They don't go to the FAQs all the time. They don't, you know, go, oh, and it's on the website. They just keep asking and again and again. Well, with the AI part of it, it will just filter all those out and be able to respond accordingly. But also that human element will always be there because that is essentially the part of Orlo that makes it Orlo. So it's not about automating it out of the way so that people can't do their, you know, don't have to look at it, but it's just lifting that stress away from them by using AI. Again, that comes back to the data. It's like, what are you being asked? How are people feeling about it? And if you look at the sentiment part of it, it's not just sentiment. We've got emotion in there. Quite often sentiment is misread. So there'll be people that you say it's negative sentiment. Well, no one is negative, positive or neutral in their life. If we think, I know, certainly not. There's a whole myriad of like emotions that we feel and express. So it may seem negative, but it could be just confusion. And confusion is the biggest sort of driver of misinformation on the internet. So I think that is phenomenal as well. And I'm really excited to see how.
And that came up in my session this morning. One of the challenges that was raised was, yeah, we've got a really high engagement rate, but guess what? All that engagement is negativity in the comments, but that's where the gold is.
Oh, yeah. I think you've got to find the muck, really, and really filter through it. Because once you do, it's like when you do bad accounting or you don't open any of your bills, you feel awful about it for ages and you know you've got to do something about it. But when you get clarity, then you know how you can take action. And I think it's really important for people to actually really embrace all of that.
And I had a moment when I was getting the demo from Rosie and she talked about not just sentiment, but emotion, as you said. And she pointed out confusion. I went, wow, the whole misinformation problem that we have is a confusion problem.
It is. And I don't think it's, a lot of the time, I don't think it's a maleficent force. I think 90% of people are just confused and they don't know what they're seeing and they don't know.
And frustrated.
Yeah. Whereas a small number will be the ones that are actually doing it for bad purposes. I believe that firmly. I don't believe that everyone is out to get everyone all the time. You know, I've seen enough of humankind throughout my policing career to know that there are more good people than bad people. So I think it is when we're confused, we act scared. And so that
vent on social.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
And I think this is a lesson for everyone listening to this. Get into the comments, get into the negativity, identify the confusion and improve your comms on the back of it. But guess what? Now there's a tool that can do that for you.
Yeah.
Both identify and communicate back.
Well, and also on that, when you identify the problems, it may not be a comms problem. Because if you see what people are moaning about, then you can go straight to the head of that department and say, look, we need to fix this. We can't fix this with a scheduled post. we need you to fix the root cause of that problem. And we're going to bring them to you and we're going to showcase you talking about it. It's content gold for yourself. You've identified a problem. You fixed the problem. You said we did. One of my most simple but favorite things to do. You said this, we did it. We fixed it.
Amazing. Okay, we can't end this podcast without talking a little bit about Kylie. Where is she at the moment? When's the last time you saw her?
I think she's in Mexico at the minute. But the last time I saw her...
Christine is a Kylie stalker.
The last time I saw her, she came to Texas for the first time. I'd been waiting years for it and she finally did it.
And Christine lives in Texas.
Oh yeah, she came to Austin, Texas, and I've never seen such a party in all my life.
Oh my goodness, did I tell you that I saw her for the first time at Electric Picnic last summer? I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, she's unreal, isn't
She's
she?
phenomenal.
Did you follow her in Neighbours?
I've niked her since I was 12. Oh yeah, that gives my age away. But
listen, isn't she unreal?
She's the longest relationship I've ever had.
Yeah, well, listen, guys, this is added bonus for Vegas. A little bit of Kylie, a little bit of Razzmatazz. Christine, where can people find you and Orlo?
Well, you can find piotoolkit.com, which is my resource hub for communicators. It's probably the best thing. Find me on LinkedIn, Christine Townsend, Lego lover, writer, Kylie lover, and public sector nerd.
Listen, I actually have found my alter ego in you. You know that. That's why we've been digital friends for so long. But an absolute pleasure, my friend, to see you in real life.
Oh, I can't wait to spend the rest of the time with you. So thank you for doing this. It's been a great revisit.
That's a wrap, guys. I'll talk to you on the next episode of AI6.